Hello, hello, hello. This is Visit Mema. I'm glad you came by this morning. I'm sort of lazy today. Do you ever get up one of those days and you're just lazy? Just lazy. I drank 2 cups of coffee, so I ran out of coffee. I said, I really needed 3 cups this morning. Oh well, say la vie, right? If I could only figure out how to put coffee in that coffee pod that you put in the coffee pot. Last time I put coffee in the coffee pod to put in the coffee machine, the coffee went everywhere, all inside the machine, and it stopped working. So this time I'm not going to do it. I'm going to refrain from drinking coffee till I get my check. I may have to go visit my sister. I don't know. Yesterday was sort of one of those days you sort of like, I'm tired. I don't know what I'm going to think about today. And my mind's tired. And I don't even want to work on my little kitties. And all I have to do is sew them on. And then decide what to do after that, of course. I was going to read comments today. And I said, no, I'll save those to Saturday or Sunday morning. And I said, okay. But I went to see my sister yesterday because I had not seen her. And we've had that, rain and storm and stuff. So I went over there and took her a cup of soup. My daughter had come by on Monday and brought Etsy. And she also brought a container of homemade hamburger stew that she had made. And so she brought that over to me on Monday. Well, last night I took some over to my sister. Because usually from my apartment, only thing I can see in her house from where I am is a light in the ceiling in her den. If I don't see that light on, I'm assuming she's taking a nap. But when the light's on, I'm pretty well sure she's up. Well, the light wasn't on, but just a little bit yesterday, and I hadn't heard her because she's always moving furniture. I told you she demolitions with her sledgehammer and all kinds of stuff. But anyway, very quiet. So I took her some soup over last night. And while I was over there, she gets my mail because it's on her house, not on my apartment. And she says, you got a card today. And I said, really? So I brought it home, and to open it. And I guess it was about 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock last night. And I opened it up and I said, oh, isn't that beautiful? Look at the flowers. If that doesn't make you happy, just looking at that card. Now, the person that sent me this card is a member of our women's group in the church I belong to up in Hardy, at the Hardy United Methodist Church. Judy Reed sent me a card. And which I don't think people realize how important a card is to someone that's, doesn't get out very much. And I love the way she wrote this. Barbara, we all missed you in church and in United Methodist Women especially. We hope you are feeling well. Wish you could come for a visit. I wish I could, but I can't. Can't travel. Our Sunday congregation totals are really growing, and we're adding members. Oh, praise the Lord. Wish you were here. Love, Judy and Eddie. Isn't that gorgeous? It made my day. Made my day again this morning, as I sit here on the end table. People don't send cards like they used to. But for shut-ins, there was several years I sent cards to people that were shut-ins. Just for thinking of you, just people I really didn't know. Somebody referred me, or, was their mother or grandmother or something. And I would send cards. And people would donate stamps so I could send the cards. And then people started donating me cards to send the cards, and they'd give me addresses and stuff. And I did that, and it was a lot of fun because I would draw pictures on the envelopes before I mailed them to them, and told stories about, like I talked to you, except it was in a card, and they would get it out of their mailboxes. Well, when I moved, I couldn't afford the stamps, and people stopped sending stamps to me. So I still have my cards to send out, and I still have some lists of people. Of course, I have lost some folks that were on my list that have passed. But I enjoyed that phase of what I do, and I do believe that's what Judy's doing. And I bless her for it. She was a blessing to me. But I enjoyed this beautiful card today. I thought I'd just share how beautiful it was. Not necessarily what it says inside, but it means a lot to me. But the fact that if you send a card to somebody, I know it's expensive to send a card anymore. I mean, it's 58 cents for the stamp, and the cards are, some cards are $4 and $5, but anyway, I thought I would share that with you. Isn't it gorgeous? And that's what I'm doing. I'm thinking of you all right now. You've come to visit me this morning, and I appreciate it. Appreciate it very, very much. I was reading something this morning I want to read to you. It might be sort of boring, but I think it's sort of funny. And some of these you might have heard. Let me read this. This is from Cry and You Simply Get Wet. Laugh and the world laughs with you. And it's a letter of a confused mother writing to her son. Dear son, just a few lines to let you know that I'm still alive. I'm writing this letter slowly because I know you cannot read fast. You won't know the house when you come home. We've moved. And your father, he has a lovely new job. He has 500 men under him. He is cutting the grass at the cemetery. There was a washing machine in the new house when we moved in, but it isn't working very good. Last week I put 14 shirts in it and pushed down the lever, and I hadn't seen those shirts since. Your sister Mary had a baby this morning. I haven't found out whether it's a boy or a girl, so I don't know whether you're an aunt or an uncle. Oh, I'm sorry, that's too funny for me. Your uncle Dick drowned last week in a vat of whiskey in the Dublin brewery. Some of his workmates dived in to save him, but they fought him off bravely. We cremated his body, and it took 3 days to put out the fire. Now that's sad. This scares me. This mother's very confused. Your father didn't have much to drink at Christmas. I put a bottle of castor oil in his pint of beer. It kept him going till New Year's Day. I went to the doctor on Thursday, and your father came with me. The doctor put a small tube in my mouth and told me to keep it shut for 10 minutes. Your father offered to buy it from him. It only rained twice this week. First for 3 days, then for 4 days. Monday was so windy that one of our chickens laid the same egg 4 times. I don't even get that. We had a letter yesterday from the undertaker. He says, if the last installment wasn't paid on your grandmother within 5 days, up she comes. Much love, Mother. P.S. I was going to send you $10, but I have already sealed the envelope. Okay. Now, when I was sending cards out, occasionally I would put a joke in it. You know, some kind of little, a 2 cents, you know, like it says, humor is a hole that lets the sawdust out of your stiff shirt. You know, just right along there, this is what I've done today, and did you hear the one about, and then I'd write it in there. Some people thought it was really redundant. Some people I never heard from. I sent cards to them in the nursing home. Of course, I don't expect them to send me a card back, but it was fun creating, you know, and thinking, oh, they must be laughing when they get it, when really they probably weren't. But I felt like I was somebody special doing a wonderful, wonderful thing. But getting that card yesterday and loving it today makes me think that all that I did was okay. You know, it was okay. I enjoyed creating and putting them in the mail. And occasionally I'd get a card back or a letter, but very seldom, especially from people that didn't get out. Like me, it's hard to get stamps, you know, or mail things. I have to get my sister to put it on her mailbox. But anyway, I enjoyed this card, and I didn't know if you've heard those jokes, but I just thought it was a cute that I would share it, that I thought I would share it with you today. You know, not every day are we high and happy. Not high, just happy on life, high on life. And we're still here. And I get up in the morning, of course, I put my feet on the floor and I say, I know who I am and I know what day it is. Praise God. And then I open the door to let the dogs out and I go, oh, it's cool out here. In fact, it's warmed up. It's 47 now. I guess we're going to get up in the 60s today. Sun is beautiful. And I should go out there and sit in the yard, but I don't think I will. I think I'll just sit here and talk to y'all for a little bit. And let's see. The kitty cat... Itsy is settling in pretty good. She's taking over the house, really, to tell you the truth. But I retired. I don't know if I've told you this or not, or if you're even interested, but I have lived on my own since 2002. Most of the time on my own. I did stay with my daughter for 3 years, and then I bought me a mobile home, and I lived there, and then I worked at the Veterans Cemetery here in North Little Rock, and when I retired, I moved up to the hills up in Hardy, up on a hill in a little cottage. And the cottage, you couldn't get in the house because very well. You had to put a sheet of plyboard down on the porch so you can get in the house without falling through the porch. And then you go inside, and it's just 400 square feet. And it has a little bathroom that you could see under the house because it had a hole in the bathroom. And the windows were, you couldn't open some of them you couldn't close. And there was drapes hanging on every wall, none of them matching. A man had lived there, and he had recently died. And that's how I was able to buy the house. It needed a lot of repairs. It was cold. The first winter I was there, I thought I would freeze to death because they just had a little heater, a little tiny heater, and they had a big barrel outside that had like kerosene in it. I think it was kerosene, some kind of liquid. I think it was kerosene, but it just, I couldn't afford the kerosene or keep the house. It was really a challenge. So me, my little puppy, I only had one at that time. He was city puppy. His name was Charlie. Looked just like Connor, except littler. And the first winter, I thought maybe I'd made a mistake. But as the years went by, and I settled into a beautiful church and met wonderful people up there because they're so real. And it was just beautiful. I mean, there was trees everywhere around the place. I mean, you didn't have to mow the yard. You didn't have to do anything if you didn't want to. But of course, I had to plant flowers. Yeah, and and then I put up a little privacy fence. I put a new blue roof on top of the house, one of those aluminum roofs. And then I put in windows, and then my brother put in new floors for me, and my baby sister, and then redid my porch, and then my brother came up and added a room on it for my studio with glass around it. It was like heaven. I was so happy up there. And I lived up there 10 years. 10 years, and then I fell. And after that, I couldn't take care of myself, and I couldn't drive. And I knew it was time to come home to Little Rock. But there was home, and it still feels like it was home there, and I still want to go back. But, comes a time in your life where you have to accept what's real and deal with it. And so I did. And so when I moved down the city, I lived in a little RV, and I enjoyed living there very much, and had all my little critters that I ended up with while I was living up in the hills. And then the opportunity to move into a senior citizens independent living facility. And I lived there for a year and a half. That didn't work out. I tried my best to make it happen. That the best place for me. It was beautiful. It was really beautiful. But then I moved here to my sister's apartment that she rented out to nursing students, or not students, but traveling nurses. And I asked if I could rent it from her, and she said okay. And it's beautiful here. I'm very happy. So when I get lonely, since I don't have my church group with me, I don't have all the friends I had, I still feel like they're my friends, though. Then I started YouTube. It's been 4 years or 3 years. 4 years, I think, because I moved 4 times in the last 4 years, really, I guess. Hopefully I don't have to move again. Because everything works for me now. So I read. Library brings me books. And I crochet. And YouTube has given me a new leash on life in regard to people commenting and knowing they're out there and sharing things that we like together. I do wish there was some way, like everybody could get where we could see each other and talk. That would be a lot of fun. Have coffee every morning or once a week. But anyway, it's worked out great. YouTube has really been a blessing to me. And my sister taking me in, of course. And And everything has been working very well. And my health is good. Keep me going. Keep me going. And so today I'm just sort of reminiscing, giving you, if you're the first time you've ever watched my videos, I try to share a little encouragement on whatever you're doing. If you're crocheting and knitting and are starting in YouTube, I'm encouraging you all the way. And if you want me to talk about your YouTube channel, help you out, I'll sure do it. I sure will, and I'll subscribe to you. And that way we just help each other, get on with our lives, and it's fun to be part of a community. I've never really talked to anyone from YouTube, but I feel that I could if I needed to, you know. But anyway, I'm just going to leave you on that. I just want to let you know that I appreciate you being out there, coming by and having coffee with me this morning. Today's Thursday, and in the month of March. Oh, I have a birthday coming up next Monday. I'll be 75, I think, or 76, or 106. I don't know. But anyway, I'm one of the baby boomers, and I'm still here. Remember that you're special, and to many people, and you're very special to me. And give yourself a hug, and thank every day for you being here. And don't worry about yesterday, or don't worry about tomorrow. Enjoy this minute. This minute. That'll help you enjoy moment by moment life without worry or stress. Don't bring back that old negative stuff. Think of good stuff. Think of really good stuff. And don't watch the news. I think Rusty said this morning, says, don't worry about the things you have no control of. And that's right. We can pick out what kind of yarn to crochet with, for sure. Remember, God has you in His hands. And pray for Mother Earth. Bye-bye.